Liverpool and Arne Slot have parted ways, and the Dutch manager leaves the club with immediate effect. It has now been reported that Andoni Iraola is now the likely successor to the Dutch manager. Anthony Gordon's £70 million deal has now been completed. All parties have signed. 5 years deal has now been signed by the prolific winger. All set now. 10 million in add-ons. Barcelona's official bid for Julian Alvarez will be sent in the next days. Barca are preparing a proposal that will not include any players or a swap deal option in the region of €100 million. All details are yet to be clarified as soon as they send it. Atletico Madrid are also aware of the proposal coming soon. Massimiliano Allegri win the race to become new Napoli manager to replace Antonio Conte, as he has accepted all conditions offered by the club, set to sign soon. President De Laurentiis and Director Mana both wanted the former AC Milan manager as soon as possible. AS Monaco have appointed Filipe Luis as their new head coach. The young tactician will be in charge of the League One club for the next 3 years. Enzo Fernandez will be hoping to join Real Madrid this summer if an offer arrives. The Chelsea midfielder wants to be playing Champions League football next season as speculation over his future continues. Barcelona have had talks with Denzel Dumfries' representative as they prepare for the possibility of Jules Koundé leaving this summer. The Inter defender has a €25 million release clause active in July, though Barca will only push ahead with a move if Koundé departs. Pep Guardiola initially wanted to remain at Manchester City until he reached 10 Premier League titles. The City boss is said to be obsessed with milestones and believed the target was achievable. AC Milan sporting director is optimistic Luka Modric will stay at the club for another season. The 40-year-old is expected to decide his future soon with a new deal on the table. Andy Robertson is now expected to join Tottenham on a free transfer this summer after Spurs secure Premier League survivor on the final day. The Scotland captain's Liverpool contract expired this summer as talks over a move to Spurs are now advancing. Robertson received a guard of honor from a teammate after Sunday's draw. Manchester United view Aurelien Tchouameni as a dream signing, with club chief believing he could have a Casemiro-like impact at Old Trafford. Any deal for the Real Madrid midfielder could cost north of €100 million. Kobbie Mainoo rejected a £40 million move to Chelsea last summer after the Blues made an approach for him. The midfielder has once rediscovered his best form under Michael Carrick following a difficult spell under Ruben Amorim, and the 21-year-old is set to represent his country at the World Cup, demonstrating just how well he has done since Amorim was sacked. There is growing acceptance that Elliot Anderson will be sold this summer, with the Manchester clubs at the forefront of the queue. However, Evangelos Marinakis is using the £115 million sales of Moses Caicedo from Brighton to Chelsea as a benchmark, breaking the current transfer record for an English player. Chelsea have no plan to let João Pedro leave this summer despite interest from Barcelona. Barca see the Brazilian as a potential long-term replacement for Lewandowski, but Chelsea view both Pedro and Cole Palmer as untouchable figures ahead of Xabi Alonso's arrival. Meanwhile, the Blues are also preparing to step up contract talks with Levi Colwill amid growing interest in the defender. Chelsea have no plans to let João Pedro leave this summer despite interest from Barcelona. Barca said the Brazilian as a potential long-term replacement for Lewandowski, but Chelsea view both Pedro and Cole Palmer as untouchable figure ahead of Xabi Alonso's arrival. Meanwhile, the Blues are also preparing to step up contract talks with Levi Colwill amid growing interest. Tottenham Hotspur are prepared to let Cristian Romero leave this summer after their disastrous Premier League campaign. Atletico Madrid and Barcelona both remain interested in the sport captain, despite him signing a long-term contract last year. Romero's future has been in doubt for months, and his summer exit is now a real possibility. Tottenham Hotspur are lining up a move for Benfica goalkeeper Anatoly Trubin in the summer. Trubin gained continental attention this season after scoring a stoppage-time goal in the Champions League in January 2026 against Real Madrid. Manchester City are planning fresh contract talks with Rodri amid growing interest from Real Madrid. There is increasing belief that Pep Guardiola's exit could open the door for Rodri to consider leaving the Etihad, with Madrid closely monitoring the situation ahead of a potential move. Jonathan David is set to leave Juventus this summer. Premier League clubs such as Newcastle United, Aston Villa, Leeds, Brighton and Crystal Palace are showing concrete interest in the Canadian striker and believe they could get a cut price or loan deal. Paris Saint-Germain beat Arsenal 4-3 on penalty today to win the UEFA Champions League. However, it was Kai Havertz who opened the scoring for Arsenal in the early minutes of the game, and Dembele have to level for PSG in the second half through penalty kick. However, PSG won today's game through penalty shoot. Michael Carrick has made it clear behind the scene that he has no intention of allowing Diego Dalot to leave the club. He has firmly informed Manchester United hierarchy that the Portugal international remains a key figure in his long-term plan at Old Trafford. As a result, the club has become increasingly willing to open talks over an improved long-term deal for the defender. Enzo Maresca was contractually obligated to declare to Chelsea the approaches he received from Manchester City and Juventus during his time at the club. Since he left Chelsea, though, he has been contacted by AC Milan, Tottenham and Real Madrid, but he knew he was in line to replace Pep Guardiola, so he turned them all. Bernardo Silva wants to join Real Madrid this summer. Los Blancos have already been aware of the midfielder's desire for over a month now. Rodri is open to joining Real Madrid this summer. Pep Guardiola's expected exit from Manchester City has reportedly changed the situation, with the midfielder now seriously considering a move to the Bernabeu after years of the door being shut. Barcelona have rejected the chance to sign both Dusan Vlahovic and Bernardo Silva despite being offered the player on a free transfer ahead of the summer window. The club were approached by representatives of both players but decided against making a move. Barcelona have withdrawn from the race to sign Alessandro Bastoni. Hansi Flick was not fully convinced by the move, while Inter's €70 million asking price also proved to be too high. Bastoni to Barca is now off. Everton's interest in FC Midtjylland Chile winger Dario Osoro is unlikely to impart a deal being done for 30-year-old England attacker Jack Grealish following his loan spell from Manchester City. Xabi Alonso has already chosen his 5 untouchable players at Chelsea. He wants to build his team around Reece James, Marc Cucurella, Moses Caicedo, Tosin Adarabioyo, and Enzo Fernandez. Jose Mourinho asks Real Madrid to sign Morten Koeman without wasting time. Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester United are all monitoring Jarrod Bowen, with club looking to take advantage of West Ham United financial difficulties by pursuing their standout talent. West Ham United could be forced to generate upward of £100 million if they suffer relegation from the Premier League, prompting increased interest in Bowen from several leading clubs. Paulo Dybala is open to a move to the Premier League this summer. The forward is out of contract at Roma and has been in talks over a renewal at the club. They are confident he will resign with them, but Dybala has always dreamt of playing in England. Atletico Madrid priority for an additional defense is Marc Cucurella. It is a difficult negotiation, but Diego Simeone will push hard to make it happen. He fits the profile of player that the club like. They hope that the player's willingness to return to Spain will play in their favor. Leicester City winger Abdou Fatah is said to be on the move this summer as the forces braces for life in League One. Everton are interested. The winger has notched 16 goals and 23 assists since joining Leicester City from Sporting CP in 2024. Atletico Madrid and Borussia Dortmund are battling to sign Brighton and Denmark midfielder Matt O'Reilly. Tottenham boss Roberto De Zerbi, also a fan of the 25-year-old, having been on a long season loan to Marcel De Zerbi's former club. O'Reilly joined Brighton from Celtic in a £25 million deal in August. Atletico Madrid are interested in striker Nicolo Tresodi, who impressed them a lot when they faced a Club Brugge in the Champions League this season. He has scored 15 goals in the Belgian Pro League this season. Club Brugge have already rejected a €30 million offer from another club. Jose Mourinho's expected arrival at Real Madrid could spell the end for Antonio Pintus. Mourinho wants to bring his own fitness coach with him if he takes charge at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid fans are now hoping the Portuguese manager starts work as early as June. He will be in Madrid next week. Zabamyi is getting cooked on social media as we speak. The PSG defender announced he has become a Coca-Cola ambassador for the World Cup. The problem is the advert uses John by Van Halen, which also happened to be Marseille's iconic item. Ukraine fans are also angry at him for promoting the World Cup. Club Brugge are demanding a club record fee for Christos Solis this summer amid interest from Aston Villa, Manchester United and Juventus. Any deal for the 24-year-old winger will need to exceed €36 million. Sporting are receiving strong interest in Osman Diomande this summer, with Chelsea, Bayern Munich and PSG all making approaches for the defender. Brentford forward Igor Thiago remains a leading target for Chelsea this summer following the appointment of Xabi Alonso. Thiago has been nominated for the Premier League Player of the Season award after his 22-goal haul. Today, it is quite clear that Chelsea need a striker. Fermin Lopez will miss the World Cup as he will soon undergo surgery. After the injury in his feet, Fermin will be out for around 4 to 8 weeks and he will not be available at the World Cup. Lamine Yamal will miss Spain's first 2 World Cup matches due to a hamstring injury. He will be available against Cape Verde on June 15th, and it is unlikely he will be available for the match against Saudi Arabia on June 21st. Brighton are exploring the move for Hoffenheim winger Barcelona Torre, who has also been linked with Liverpool in recent months. The 20-year-old Ivory Coast international has a transfer valuation of around £34 million. Torre has scored 5 goals in Bundesliga this season. Roma midfielder Gianluca Mancini would sign a new deal with the club in the coming days. Atletico Madrid are interested in striker Nicolo Tresodi, who impressed them a lot when they faced a Club Brugge in the Champions League this season. He has scored 15 goals in the Belgian Pro League this season. Club Brugge have already rejected a €30 million offer from another club. Leicester City winger Abdul Fattah is said to be on the move this summer as the forces braces for life in League One. Everton are interested. The winger has notched 16 goals and 23 assists since joining Leicester City from Sporting CP in 2024. Atletico Madrid and Borussia Dortmund are battling to sign Brighton and Denmark midfielder Matt O'Reilly. Tottenham boss Roberto De Zerbi, also a fan of the 25-year-old, having been on a long season loan to Marseille, De Zerbi's former club. O'Reilly joined Brighton from Celtic in a £25 million deal in August. Paulo Dybala is open to a move to the Premier League this summer. The forward is out of contract at Roma and has been in talks over a renewal at the club. They are confident he will resign with them, but Dybala has always dreamt of playing in England. Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester United are all monitoring Jarrod Bowen, with club looking to take advantage of West Ham United financial difficulties by pursuing their standout talent. West Ham United could be forced to generate upward of £100 million if they suffer relegation from the Premier League, prompting increased interest in Bowen from several leading clubs. Barcelona have withdrawn from the race to sign Alessandro Bastoni. Hansi Flick was not fully convinced by the move, while Inter's €70 million asking price also proved to be too high. Bastoni to Barca is now off. Jose Mourinho asks Real Madrid to sign Morten Koeman without wasting time.